Alright guys, welcome back to Fastback Life. I'm TK. Thanks for tuning in. So if you remember, last video was about the Hellcat block and the kind of the unboxing. Well, we didn't really get to see all of it because it was sitting on a pallet. So I've got the engine up on a engine stand, and I got it rolled over so we can see the bottom end of this. Pretty excited about that. Alright, so you got your main caps with 2 bolts. There's a bolt on each side. I believe that's something like the 5.7s, the 6.1s, the 6.4s, I think, have them too, and then the 6.2s. They all have those side ones. I'm not going to say all. I think there's like a certain years that they started doing that. But anyways, so you can see the oil squirters, and then that oil galley that goes all the way across. So, you know, pretty much I'm assuming the same as the other engines. I did hear or read somewhere that the oil squirters down there, for different years, they're different lengths. So I don't know what the lengths are. Not sure. But like I mentioned before, 6.2 block. I believe that it's really similar to the 6.4. Maybe I think that the 6.2 had powdered metal main caps, and I think the 6.4 didn't. Not really sure if that's legit or not. Just stuff that I've read or seen on the internet. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, I did spray the engine down with some WD-40 gel, I think, and that's just to stop any rust from happening. Yes, the engine was coated in some stuff to stop corrosion from happening, but my garage is not ventilated, so it gets pretty hot in here in the summer. And if there's any moisture, that really does the number on the engine block. So I did spray it down with some stuff to prevent any rust from happening. So that's why it is all shiny. So what I'm going to do is talk about deburring the block. Now, apparently this is a pretty common thing that a lot of engine builders are doing or have been doing. I'm not sure how long this has been going on, but what they do is they just take down all the edges on the engine block and kind of round them down, and this is to make the engine block easier to work on. I've also heard that this strengthens the block. If there's any sharp edges, like these are pretty sharp, I heard that it is possible that an engine block could crack on a sharp surface like that. So not sure how legit that is, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to round all the edges that are really sharp. Like I said, it'll be easier to work on. And I'll show you some areas where I think it needs it the most. I'll put you down here for a minute. Pull this out. You can rotate it around. Oh, come on, baby. Stick that back in there. All right. So I talked about the sharp edges on the engine block. There's also some areas I want to touch up on. If you see underneath the lifters here, it's really rugged, jagged, and I want to smooth that out, because any oil that comes out of the lifters, it's going to come down, it's going to go like into the engine block. So if you can, this is what I'm going to try and do. If you can, you clean up that surface. Any oil coming out that goes down, we'll get to the engine block. We'll get to the bottom of the engine faster. So that's kind of what I want to do. I want to clean those areas, make it so the oil flows down, make it so it gets to the bottom as quick as possible, so it can be sucked back up and distributed throughout the engine. So the faster that cycle happens, the better, I guess. And then, like I said before, I'm going to deburr the block. I'm going to take all the edges down because they're all really sharp. Go all the way around. I kind of did it to the front of the engine, so we can take a look right now. It's still somewhat sharp, but it's not as bad as like some of these spots where it's just super sharp. I hit all the edges. I don't go anywhere near the important stuff. So don't go anywhere near the cam. Don't go anywhere near the crankshaft, where the crankshaft bearings go. Don't go anywhere near the cylinders. That's kind of a big deal. Stay away from those major areas. Even like the lifter bores. Don't go nicking them. Not good. So just stay away from that stuff. Once in a while you might hit the surface here or here, whatever you're doing. Just try not to go too crazy. We're just trying to clean it up so it's easier to work on. Nothing too fancy. And then once you take down those edges, like on this face and the deck face, and I guess even on the the oil pan face, after you deburr those edges, ground them down, I think we're gonna go over some sand. Take some sandpaper and some WD-40 and just kind of take down all the burrs that are standing up because of grinding those edges. And then after that, I've got to wash the engine block. So deburr it, clean up some surfaces, and then ultimately wash it. And then after I wash it, it's definitely time to spray it down again with the same kind of stuff I was using before. It's like WD-40 gel. And I think this is it. Spray and stay gel lubricant. Says it prevents rust up to 1 year. So I don't have any of that coating from the factory to prevent corrosion or whatever, so I use that WD-40 gel and just spray it on. So the goal is for me right now just to get the engine block prepped. You don't really want to start throwing parts on it straight from the factory, because this block is straight from the factory. This is not a used block. It's not a reman block. It's brand new. Cast it, and then they bore everything, make the drill holes and stuff like that, and then slap some stuff on. So straight from the factory, you don't want to just be slapping parts on. It needs to get cleaned. There is coating on it to prevent it from rusting. And then, like I said, take down those edges, and we'll wash it, and then we can start throwing parts on it. Now, there's some people out there that are not going to have a brand new block from the factory. So when you have an older block, there's going to be a lot more extra steps. You're going to have to do a lot more heavy-duty cleaning, because there's probably gunk in it somewhere. You're going to have to take a lot of measurements to make sure that your cylinder bores are good, true round, I believe, and stuff like that, and the deck height's proper, and there's a lot of stuff that you have to do when you're working on an older engine block. With the new engine block, it is safe to say that the bores are all good. I've got cross hatching, I've got cam bearings in already, there's oil squirters, the caps are on, blah blah blah. I just have to buy main bearings and I can start throwing stuff in. assuming that I'm using OEM parts, because if you use other manufacturers, like aftermarket stuff, it might not fit like OEM stuff. So if I were to use aftermarket stuff, I would have to make sure that the measurements are good. But if I built this engine with OEM parts going to the dealership, it's safe to say that you don't have to do that much measuring and calculations and stuff, because it's made to go in the block. There's tolerances that all the parts have from the factory, and I'm not saying that it's perfect all the time, but you know, you don't have to do as much as if it was an older block. So anyways, so after this, after rounding down all the edges, stuff like that, I just got to clean it. And I'm going to take a pressure washer, some mild car wash soap, and just spray it all down, get all the gunk from the oil, the WD-40, and the metal shavings that are there, and you know, make sure it's clean. Then I can spray it down again to make sure it doesn't rust, and then I'm good to start throwing parts on it. Now, if you wanted to deburr your block, whether or not it's brand new from the factory like this one, or maybe it's an older one, and you want to clean it up the same way that I plan on to, I already told you all the areas to hit, you know, just around the edges, in here, those little galleys. You can see how much better this side is because I've actually worked on it. You can see how much better that is. So if you want to do this kind of stuff, there's a couple tools you can use. I have a Dremel. I have that's a stone grinding wheel, and I have my speed set at a certain speed, and the stone grinding wheel works really good. It does the same thing as, I would say, one of these. This is a carbide grinding bit, pretty much, and that takes off just chunks of metal. Or like I said before, stone grinding wheel. This is on an air tool. So you can do it on a Dremel, you can do it on an air tool, and of course the shanks are different size. It's like a 1/4 inch for that, and those are 1/8 for Dremels and whatnot. There's also some other options out there too. You can use a file. You're doing pretty much the same thing, just grinding those edges down to make sure that they're just not sharp. If you hit your knuckles on it, it's going to hurt no matter what, and you might still bleed, but the edges won't be as sharp. So a couple files. One file I don't have is a round file. I think a round file would be a must. If you're going to use hand files, get I got a triangle one here, I've got a flat one, I think there's like a half curved one, and then there's a round one, and they got different sizes. You can get kits and stuff. If you're going to do it by hand, that's totally a way you could do it. You could do it with an air tool or a Dremel. I think a Dremel or an air tool will go a lot quicker, obviously, than by doing it by hand. And then once you get all those edges done, there is kind of a lip here on my cylinder walls, my cylinder bores. So I'm going to want to kind of sand this down just to, real quick, not for like a long time. I'm not trying to polish it or nothing, but just to take down the edges that are sticking up from when you ground down the edges, because it will happen. And then, like I said, once you got that all done, wash it up and it should be good. So I'm gonna get to work on this, and I'll show you what the deck face will look like when I'm done. You've already seen what the oil, where the lifter bores on that side look like. Pretty bad. This side's pretty good. So we'll get to that, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Sound good? Can't wait to see it. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it. Just kind of went over all the sharp edges, ground them down. Like I said before, nothing crazy. If you don't feel comfortable using a power tool, you can totally use a file. It'll work just the same. And then on surfaces like I'm doing the deck here, I will have to take something flat and just kind of lightly sand the deck to take down anything that was turned up by filing those edges, which I already have to do because, like I said before, there's actually a lip on the cylinder wall there. But nothing, like I said, nothing too crazy, and you can kind of tell there's a difference here. It's a little rounded down compared to super sharp like that, and that's really all I'm looking to do. I did not do around the lifters yet. Just, you know, touched up a couple areas. I mean, that's pretty much it. I do have the other lifter galley below it to do. So, you know, I'm not going to do the whole thing on camera for you. That would be probably boring. But I just wanted to show you what your options were to clean up an engine block, either if it's brand new like this one, or if you're working on an older one and it has edges like this. Man, what am I missing? I think that's pretty much it. I just wanted to do those edges, show you how it's going. So from here on out, I'm just going to continue working on the engine block to clean it up, to get ready, to get washed, so I can start slapping parts on it. But for the meantime, I'll be just doing this kind of stuff to the engine block. I got some videos coming out for the charger, hopefully soon. I just wanted to show you what I'm doing to my block. And I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm not saying that it's going to be, you know, this is going to be better than someone else's. You know, I have no clue whether or not that's even a thing. So, but just wanted to show anyone who wants to do something like this, the kind of work they can. And I don't have a whole lot of money to be thrown at it, so I'm kind of taking my time. The videos come out, you know, whenever they do. I don't have a lot of funds to make this project go really quick. I would be totally down for some sponsors, but, you know, I'm pretty small and my content is not, you know, back to back, so I don't know if anyone would want to sponsor me. But I work 2 jobs to pay for this, and they come out when they come out, you know. So anyways, thanks for watching. Stay tuned if you want to see some more engine block work and then some more, you know, charger work. I've got more videos coming. Like I said, it's just not that quick because that's just the way it is. So, like I said, again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Hit like if you like this. If it's informative, and, you know, if it's got a lot of information for you, that's awesome. I hope this helps someone out. Leave a comment down below what you think, you like, you don't. You know, it's not going to bother me if you don't like it. So, yeah, that'll be it. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.